Hi folks, it's Richard Not Famous here with another Walkabout Poetry busking tutorial, and this episode we're talking about equipment and merchandise. Firstly, the reason I go into the menu before this as its own episode is simply because that's something you can just go and do now, which I'm hoping you have done. So the items that I'm about to list are something that I consider essential, whereas you may not. So yeah, just bear in mind if you're planning to walk around all day with 20 books in your backpack, then just think about how you're going to look after your back. So streamline away. Whereas I prefer to try and have all the bases covered, as we'll soon find out. So firstly is a water bottle or flask. So I work between 4 to 10 hours a day when I'm out busking, and I pay attention to how my voice feels, and that's how, if I feel achy, then I will stop. That'll be it for the day. Water obviously is good, and herbal teas, things like lemon and ginger, things that are going to clear your throat of mucus. Avoid things like coffee and milky drinks. These generate this generates mucus in your throat, and it will only make it harder to work, and you'll be clearing your throat, and it's just no good. And obviously avoid smoking for the same reason too. Secondly is your menu, if you decide to use one. Thirdly, it's a money pouch. For starters, it's good to carry a float out with you, especially in your first session, because a prospective client might only have a note on them. It's always good you can say that you have change. A money pouch makes it, with different compartments on it, makes it easier to separate your coins over the course of the day. I tend to separate pound coins in 50p's, £2 coins into one pouch, and then all of the rest into another. And lastly, with a money pouch, I just don't like the look of getting your wallet out. I feel like that kind of cheapens it rather than having a reservoir. That's where money is kept. Next is a card reader. £30 and it pays for itself very quickly. Lots of people nowadays just don't even carry cash, and you sound super slick when they go, "Oh, I don't have any cash on me," and you say, "I'll take card." And you can also put their branding on your menu too. PayPal is another revenue stream that you can use, because then all they need to do to be able to pay you is your email address. So the card reader and PayPal obviously require internet access for them to work, so it's good to carry a tablet or a smartphone with you. Obviously a tablet for preference, because then that lets you flaunt your own website and you can email them afterwards as well. Packed lunch is so important. Money can dissolve into the street or a festival as easily as it's earned. Bring something with you like couscous or pasta bakes, something that you can nibble at over the course of the day to keep your energy levels topped up. An umbrella. Shade in the sun, shelter in the rain, really good to offer your prospective client. You might get a stop. Any books, CDs, posters, badges, bring it with you. This lets you combine it with your poetry menu for perks, more expensive poems. Again, with taking merchandise out there, just be careful of how much you're carrying around all day, because it could put a heavy strain on your back. Your own website. I used Squarespace for mine. They have lots of really cool templates to start you off. It's super easy to understand, and their technical support staff are really helpful. Business cards are really useful too. I don't tend to give them out to just anyone, because I tend to email my clients as well, but these can lead to gigs, and it just makes you look really professional. Public liability insurance. So far, while I've been doing this, I've only had one complaint, but that ended up costing me a day and a half's earnings at a festival, so it's just good for your own peace of mind. I use axisweb.org, that's £25 for the year. You can't sniff at that, and it keeps you covered. So lastly, as an exercise for this episode, which is more something that you should start thinking as a process, is start generating your own website, look at social media links, YouTube accounts, start get yourself insured. It's just like these little administrative tasks that kind of surround this practice. Yeah, start getting on them. So there you have a complete rundown of all the equipment I use, which isn't all necessary but can prove useful. So thanks again for listening, guys. Once again, there are links in the description. Join me next time where I shall be talking about aftercare.